Everything you buy gets wrapped up in a little package of data, which is then sent to a large company with a high probability of having a pedophile CEO, which can then send this data to a third-party company, which can then send you annoying personalized ads. Hey guys, today with another kind of video. Let's call it How Cryptocurrency Can Improve the World. Let's get straight into this. What I said in the intro is pretty much true. The thing with the pedophiles, okay, I just jump on the bandwagon, you know what I mean. But what is the truth behind this? We have this quote from a guy called Clive Humby, and he once said, it's a while back, data is the new oil. In 2006 he already said that. A few years ago people doubled down by saying data isn't the new oil, it's way more valuable than that. Advertisement doesn't work as it used to. Right now, everything you do, everything you watch on your smartphone, the things you are doing right now, it all creates data, and this data is sold to third parties to personalize your advertisements. If you don't like that, which is understandable, there is a solution to that. But first, let me double down on my statement so you understand what I say. Here in Germany, we have the so-called payback system. That's a card which you use like a debit card. So once you pay at your local grocery store or wherever, before you pay, you use this card and then you get points. And with that points, you can buy again. And that means you get money. Am I right? It's money for nothing. No, it's not money for nothing. I asked Grok. There is the payback card here in Germany. Is it in the terms of service that they can use your data, your age, gender, what you buy, when you buy, and sell it to third parties for personal advertisement? Yes. The payback programs general data protection notices, blah, 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 allow the collection and use of personal data such as your age, purchases, purchase times, locations, and all other details for purpose including personalized advertisement and market analysis, but only with your explicit consent. And this explicit consent you gave. Once you do this, you know, there was this checkbox and you did this, and we all do it. Nobody is reading the terms of service. Right now, all the services you use, from Facebook or WhatsApp, they all have terms of services, and they contain these small parts where you pretty much agree for them to use your data. Google and all the other search engines on this planet always use this. There are solutions already. So this is brave. I'm not paid by them, but this is a solution. They try to give the revenue of the advertisements back to the user in form of BAT. BAT is this one, BAT token, basic attention token. So it's a cryptocurrency which pretty much monetizes what you can sell for advertisements and gives it back to the user, which is a pretty cool thing if you ask me. But isn't Bitcoin an open ledger where everyone also can see all the transactions? Of course there is. And this is how Bitcoin works. Because it's not a private network at all. You can see here right now all the transactions that are happening on the Bitcoin blockchain. And if you know the public key of someone, you can especially see their transactions. And this is what people do all the time. It's good and bad at the same time. For private people, it's not so cool, but for the big players, it's awesome because you can see where the transactions are going. So let's look the biggest one up. Strategy, Michael Saylor, wallet, address. Oh, come on. And there we have it. And this is the wallet address. We're gonna put it there. I don't care about Bitcoin Cash, and this is all the transactions. So I can see all the transactions of everyone I know the wallet address of, so their transactions are not really private. But for the large corporations, they just cannot buy something like pizza or ice cream or jerky without you knowing that. That's quite awesome. But let's dig a bit deeper into privacy networks. If you're in the crypto space, you already know what that is. We have things like Monero and Zcash. These are the biggest two ones. I'm not sure about Canton, this is a new one. And Chainlink isn't really known for privacy, it's rather an oracle. If you want to know more about that, of course, leave a comment below. I can explain how Chainlink works. But the thing I want to talk about is Midnight because it's a new project and I can tell you what their vision is. So privacy blockchain networks are the answer to this annoying advertisement stuff. Today, Midnight is more about, I don't want you to know shit about me. Let's jump into this. So the project I want to talk about here is Midnight. Midnight, nobody can see anything at midnight. Maybe that was the fantasy behind that. It is built on the Cardano blockchain, but it is also a standalone layer one once they want to be that. Let's not talk about the technicals, I want to show you how this thing works. Alrighty. So let's imagine you go to a club. The bouncer asks you for an ID. Usually, how does that work? You show your ID. What happens when the bouncer looks at your ID? He knows your name, he knows your birthday, he knows where you're born, he knows where you live. If you don't want that, you can, when the future wants it to be, use your ID via Midnight. And this is their vision. And once you have that, you show it to the bouncer and all he sees is, yes, you are above 21 or 18. I don't know where you're going. So all the information he has to know, he will know via Midnight. This all works with a mathematical concept called zero knowledge proofs. People usually explain it with a box and without opening the box, you can show somebody that you know how to open the box. Because there's a code inside the box that the dude that wants to know if you can open the box puts inside the box. You open the box without showing him that you can open the box. You just tell him the code that he put inside. Oh god, that's a long one. But not only IDs, this also works with medical records. So once you have your medical records, the doctor sees how your teeth are, when the last time you get the needle, and what STDs you got from your Thailand trip last month. If you don't want that, and you only want to give him this information, well, Midnight is up to that. This is how privacy on a blockchain works. So let's imagine you have a friend with a beautiful noodle place. He makes the best ramen there are, and maybe you don't want advertisers to know that you like noodles. I don't know, maybe this is your thing. So with the current system, you buy the noodles with a debit card. On the debit card appears your name and the information that you bought noodles at the noodle store from the guy. So the guy has a record he received money from you for noodles at the noodle store. This is information that can be sold. And now, with Midnight, you can, of course, make this transaction private. On our blockchain, you see this, but there is no address there. It's just appears as someone bought something for such and such. And this is all the transactions that are visible on the blockchain. So it's probably completely private. The ledger still exists. The ledger knows there was a transaction, but what it was and who, for who and who to who, nobody knows. And that is the power of privacy networks. How does it work? How do they finance themselves? Let's go a bit into the technicals. Usually cryptocurrencies right now, at least the newer chains, work with proof of stake. Bitcoin runs on proof of work, so you have to use enormous amounts of energy to create new coins. With proof of stake, you only have to hold the coins and then stake them. And then there is something called auto stake. So you don't have to put your coins into staking, you just hold them. Night works like that you just hold your Night tokens, and while you hold Night, it creates, via auto staking, dust. And dust is not a cryptocurrency per se, it's more or less energy. And this energy can be used to activate the privacy features of Midnight. So once you hold the token, you create automatically the power to make your private transactions. And that's a cool thing, guys. The creation of dust tokens isn't live yet, so if you want to be there in the beginning of something really big and something really cool, you can already buy the Night token, but use the privacy features will launch in March 26. For your information, I got nothing. I wasn't paid by Brave, I wasn't paid by Midnight. I just do that because cryptocurrency is my passion and I think it's the future. If not cryptocurrency, then Bitcoin is of course the future, and we will see that in a few months if you ask me. So if you want more of this kind of content, let me know down in the comments. Leave a like and a subscription, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye.